Bombshell verdict in the trial.
We'll talk a little bit about Ghislaine, though. I got to pee real quick. Here you go.
Of Ghislaine Maxwell, the former associate of Jeffrey Epstein, convicted on 5 of 6 counts. ABC's Ariel Reshef has been covering this trial since the very beginning. She joins us live from the federal courthouse in Manhattan. Ariel, good morning.
Good morning to you, Whit. This was a sweeping victory for the U.S. government. The jury of 6 men, 6 women, deliberating more than 40 hours, finding Maxwell guilty on the most serious sex trafficking charges. This morning, that stunning verdict in the high-profile sex trafficking trial of Ghislaine Maxwell, the jury finding the British socialite guilty on 5 of 6 counts. Maxwell, who once ran in the circle of presidents and princes, led out of the courtroom Wednesday by 2 U.S. Marshals, now waking up behind bars, facing up to 65 years in prison.
A unanimous jury has found Ghislaine Maxwell guilty of one of the worst crimes imaginable: facilitating and participating in the sexual abuse of children, crimes that she committed with her longtime partner and co-conspirator, Jeffrey Epstein.
Maxwell, longtime companion of disgraced financier and convicted sex offender Jeffrey Epstein, has been in jail since her dramatic arrest at a New Hampshire estate in the summer of 2020. Prosecutors calling her a serial predator who helped Epstein sexually abuse underage girls between 1994 and 2004. Epstein and Maxwell known for their lavish lifestyle, the government claiming there was a dark side to the globe-trotting pair and that Maxwell was Epstein's partner in crime, inviting young girls to give him explicit massages, managing the details right down to the lotions and the oils. Prosecutors said Maxwell did it to keep Epstein satisfied and to maintain her status.
The consequences have been tremendous on literally hundreds of young women. Her life of jet setting and living in mansions and running around with billionaires is finally over.
The case against Maxwell hinging on the accounts of 3 accusers who, in emotional and at sometimes graphic testimony, said Maxwell played a central role in their sexual abuse, beginning when they were just teenagers and lasting for years.
Unimaginable crimes were committed against them, and they worked up the courage to show up in court and finally face the person who did all this bad stuff to them long ago.
Annie Farmer, the only of Maxwell's accusers to publicly identify herself, saying, "I hope this verdict brings solace to all who need it and demonstrates that no one is above the law." Throughout the trial, Maxwell's defense team claiming she has been made a scapegoat.
Well, except for, all of the other high-profile individuals that kind of did get away. I mean, her bravery is awesome, by the way, Annie Farmer's, but the unfortunate reality is that, like, 1, it took decades, and 2, the main guy is not even on the docket and never will be because he fucking mysteriously perished, okay? He was suicided. And lastly, Ghislaine Maxwell is, she's going to serve a prison sentence, and that's great. But all of the other individuals that were a part of this process, including, but not limited to, Prince Andrew, for example, will most likely never face a prison sentence. Like, the process in which getting Prince Andrew to court is an incredibly difficult one. Like, almost impossible. He's a royal. Like, he's not only a British citizen, but, or like a regular diplomat or anything. He's a fucking royal, right? Conspiracy Andy. Yeah, I conspire with your mother about how much we hate you every night after we have long and hot and sweaty sexual intercourse. Okay? You're also grounded. Anyway, let's keep going.
Scapegoat after Epstein died by suicide in his jail cell in 2019 while awaiting trial. Her family standing by her saying, "We have already started the appeal and we believe she will ultimately be vindicated." And no sentencing date has been set yet for Maxwell. Her attorneys arguing they want her to get her booster shot in light of the rapidly spreading Omicron variant. Maxwell spent her 60th birthday on Christmas behind bars. She now faces the prospect of the rest of her life in prison. Whit?
Ariel, thank you.
Well, hey there.
Oh, BBC had another person who is like literally personally involved in this. Does anyone have the BBC segment, by the way? Two Man said he wanted the Sam Cedar your ass. Yeah, I know, dude. It's irrelevant. Like, what the fuck? Well, yeah, okay. Destiny shows up to the debate. What are we debating on? Fucking still the boundaries of like whether or not the CDC did this at the behest of corporate profits? Yes. Okay. That doesn't really change anything, and I don't really care anymore. Anyway, it's like it's over. It's long gone at this point. Who mad? Oh, Megalol mad. Okay. Like, it's hard not to take the bait in many of these circumstances because, you know, I have no self-control and very little self-respect as well. But the issue usually is like, it's so fucking awful. The aftermath is so bad. It's mostly you guys, by the way, that agitate to get these debates. Like, it's the debate watchers and also who gets the benefit from it. And I would rather fucking die than give a crumb of pleasure, okay, an ounce of satisfaction or monetization opportunities to some of these motherfuckers. So I just don't do it. That's the reality. Having said that, though, I know a lot of people constantly say, oh my God, you're not debating. You're not debating. You're just afraid of matching your ideas. No, I mean, I will debate people who are clouded because debates are for the memes for the most part. Is this a BBC clip? Oh, you have the whole thing?
Well, let's get more analysis on that verdict now. We can speak to constitutional lawyer Alan Dershowitz, who...
Dude. If you bring up the Dersh, okay, which they're doing here, not gonna lie, Two Man has cloud for sure. No, that's why I said I would debate Two Man. He is clouded, and it would be good. Like it would be meme-ish. There would be good memes. Ultimately, which is why I was planning on doing it, but it's like not necessarily worthwhile. I'm going to touch on the Israeli government that was protecting Maxwell because of the previous PM being associated with Epstein and Maxwell. Can you touch on the Israeli government protecting Maxwell? Which one? I mean, Ehud Barak, I've talked about regularly. Like, anyway, that's not the point right now. The man, the myth, the Dersh. That's who we're talking about right now, okay? The Dersh. So, Fox News also had the Dersh on, okay? To talk about this case. It's insane because, one, other victims of Jeffrey Epstein have said the Dersh has also sexually assaulted them, okay? So there's that. Two, the Dersh literally helped Jeffrey Epstein in the previous trial that Jeffrey Epstein underwent. And to just bring him up as like just a constitutional lawyer is completely psychotic. Like, he's literally, the conflict of interest is so high in this. Like, the conflict of interest that the Dersh has here is so high. That I don't know what to say here. It's like, there's no analogy that I can use up in this circumstance. It's like we brought Ghislaine Maxwell, who is a socialite, to talk about the Jeffrey Epstein trial. You know what I mean?
Joins us now. This was a much-watched trial, and after a long set of deliberations spanning Christmas with a break, suddenly the jury reached a verdict.
Well, I think the most important thing, particularly for British workers, is that the government was very careful who it used as witnesses. It did not use as a witness the woman who accused Prince Andrew, accused me, accused many other people, because the government didn't believe.
He self-reported on that. Like, he brought it up, dude. The Dersh. Motherfucker can't stop himself. The Dersh.
she was telling the truth. In fact, she, Virginia Giuffre, was mentioned in the trial as somebody who brought young people to Epstein for him to abuse. And so this case does nothing at all to strengthen in any way the case against Prince Andrew. Indeed,
wait. Wait. He just said Virginia Giuffre, as a victim, simultaneously played a role in bringing young girls into the fold. Okay, but you hung out with him and you defended him, the Jeffrey Epstein, I mean, and you were also a part of the massage sequences, but you also are now admitting that there were young girls there. What the fuck is going on? He's like, yeah, you know, young girls were brought in, but, you know, they were brought in by the lady who was a young girl at the time. And therefore, you know, I'm absolved. Yeah, I'm sorry. He did say he wore underwear every time he was around Jeffrey Epstein, something along those lines. I wore an underwear. It means nothing.
Indeed, it weakens the case against Prince Andrew considerably.
Wild that the BBC had Jeffrey Epstein's personal best friend and lawyer, okay, to come and belittle one of Jeffrey Epstein's victims and say that she's a lawyer on national television. This is completely psychotic, okay? This is so insane. It's almost as insane as, like, oh God, I can't even imagine, like if the BBC went in the aftermath of the election in Chile where a socialist won, they brought, like, I don't know, someone who's like a close relative to Pinochet, who was a brutal authoritarian fascist dictator. You know what I mean? Like, it would be almost as psychotic as something like that. You know what I mean? And they would obviously never bring a close relative of Pinochet, the BBC, to ask them how they feel about a socialist being democratically elected to leadership. I mean, that... Wait, what? Oh, they did that. Oh, they did that last week. Oh. Okay. That's weird. Why are they doing that? That's so strange. That wow. I can't believe the BBC does stuff like this. This is why, by the way, for the record, this is why I always say, like, look, state media, mainstream media, liberal media, this is how it works, okay? Does the BBC not actually do... I swear you talked about it? Yes, that was the joke, man. I was joking. I know that the BBC did that last week. That's why I'm making a joke. How was that a comparison you used, Lemafau? What? Having Pinochet's cousin talk about... having Pinochet's cousin on to talk about how devastating it is that, a socialist was elected in Chile is exactly like having Alan Dershowitz on to talk about fucking Ghislaine Maxwell's trial. What the fuck are you talking about? It's like having a member of the royal family that isn't under house arrest or some shit to talk about how great the MBS is or the Khashoggi trial. You know what I mean? Like, oh, was Khashoggi murdered? Here we have a guy that looks like Mohammed bin Salman, but is certainly not Mohammed bin Salman, but is a member of the family to speak on the lies that the media is telling about the Jamal Khashoggi murder.
Because the government was very...
And it's just MBS wearing sunglasses. Now we turn to the granddaughter of Mussolini for comments on the state of Italian politics and how socialism is devastating Italy. Oh, wait, they did all of those things, by the way. They did literally fucking roll out the red carpet for MBS before Khashoggi. They don't do it as much anymore. Okay? But they did do the fucking granddaughter of Mussolini shit, who was literally a fucking fascist. God, mainstream media is so dog shit, dude. I mean, it's such a necessary part of life, okay? It's a necessary part of of what we believe to be a democracy in theory, okay? It's incredibly important. But if you assume, even for a fucking moment, that like they're not absolutely playing a role in manufacturing consent for all of these different things, then I don't know what to tell you. What do you have against fascism? What? Okay, dude. Get the fuck out of here, bro. What do you mean? What do I have against fascism? Just that's literally like coming in here and be like, what do you have against slavery? I don't understand. Like, what do you mean? Like what? Some people are just gonna be enslaved. Like that's just how it is. Hey man, people can have different opinions from their families. You don't have your dad's politics, to be honest. Dog, he was there defending caste, who is literally a direct descendant of a Nazi, a straight up fucking Nazi, who also has Nazi style politics. What the fuck are you saying? It's obviously not simply Pinochet's Pinochet's cousin that's there to be like, oh man, I'm just a regular voter. And also I think that, you know, socialism is poggers. Like that's not what he was saying. Okay?
Selective in who it used. It used only witnesses who they believed were credible, and they deliberately didn't use the main witness, the woman who started the whole investigation, Virginia Giuffre, because ultimately they didn't believe she was telling the truth. They didn't believe that a jury would believe her, and they were right in doing so. So it was very smart on the part of the government.
Yeah, his only take here on the trial is Virginia Giuffre. I wonder why. That's so strange. They had constitutional lawyer Alan Dershowitz to come talk about Ghislaine Maxwell, and his only take is to belittle Virginia Giuffre, a victim of Jeffrey Epstein.
And yet,
even this guy's like, okay, this is not what we were expecting. I thought you were simply a constitutional lawyer. What is happening?
They didn't believe that a jury would believe her, and they were right in doing so. So it was very smart on the part of the government.
And yet, the version, the image that was portrayed of Ghislaine Maxwell as a sophisticated predator is the one that the jury have agreed with.
Well, the jury...
I'm sorry, bro. It's straight up because every Tory, like 98% of Tories are nonces themselves. So, of course, the fucking Tory-backed BBC is going to go ahead and be like, I guess, normalizing pedophilia as best as they can.
Agreed that she helped Jeffrey Epstein in his activities. And the question then...
Sorry, this is a way of our life, okay? You come here, American man, and you tell me that my culture is unacceptable. Well, let me tell you, the Brits... the Tories get to do a little bit of nonsense, all right? A little bit.
Whether
as a treat
or not, she will be sentenced as if she were Jeffrey Epstein, or sentenced as if she were simply somebody who facilitated and helped. And the other question is, who else will be charged? Because the testimony introduced evidence that other people were guilty and involved.
What's next? You're going to say that inbreeding, systematic inbreeding, is bad? What is this? The nanny state has gone too far. Listen, we like to do a little bit of systemic inbreeding. You know, as you know, the Habsburg jaw is one of the most beautiful sights that you peasant class can ever lay your eyes on. And if we were to abolish noncery and the inbreeding that the royal family engages in, then, well, of course, then we might as well wipe out the entire royal family. Habsburg never ruled England. Shut the fuck up, bitch. Okay, whatever the British, German inbreeding consequences, because there's like different genetic diseases. Habsburg jaw is just the most common one. If they were all literally related, so it doesn't fucking matter. Yes, all right. I'm Boris Johnson, and the royals are beyond reproach. Very good.
Again,
hemophilia. Quite ableist in it. talking about the consequences of a little bit of nonsense and also systematic inbreeding in the royal family. And it seems like it's not quite all right that you are now engaging in a little bit of ableism. Unacceptable.
Virginia Giuffre, she was alleged by the same women who the jury believed to
Bro, he's turning it back to fucking Virginia Giuffre again.
have brought them to Jeffrey Epstein, knowing that they were underage, getting undressed, having sex with Epstein in front of them when they were underage.
Bro, in order to fucking dunk on one of his own accusers, a victim of Jeffrey Epstein, he is now openly stating that the guy who he fucking defended, okay, as a lawyer, was having sex with young women. The guy who, like, he personally, okay, continued a relationship with was having sex with underage women. What is happening? Why is the fucking guy literally not stopping the interview and be like, I'm sorry, sir. I hate to do this to you, Mr. Dershowitz. You're a very famous constitutional lawyer, but and you have tenure at Harvard, but are you stating that your friend, your close and personal best friend, Jeffrey Epstein, openly had sexual intercourse with young women? Why? Why is that not happening? Why is that no one asking? Children, not even women, not young women, children, girls. Why is this interview still continuing right now at this point?
Age in order to encourage them also to have sex with Epstein. So I think the next question is, when will Virginia Giuffre be indicted and charged, rather than her accusing people like Prince Andrew and me and Ehud Barak?
Dog, Ehud Barak, literally, dude, you just admitted that Jeffrey Epstein was like raping little girls, and then you fucking turn around and try to defend yourself and Ehud Barak, who very clearly knew this and kept their relationship with Jeffrey Epstein and have also been accused. I am losing my fucking mind. He's even saying it. What the fuck is going on? The FBI should be crashing through his roof right now? Yeah, okay.
And George Mitchell and the dozens.
I love what he said. Epstein was already convicted of it once and got away with it. Yeah, dog. You know how he got away with it? Alan Dershowitz was part of his fucking team. That's how he got away with it. And the BBC is having him on to talk about it. Bananas, dude. Absolute bananas.
Of other people who she's accused. So the next question is, who else will be charged for facilitating Jeffrey Epstein's misconduct?
You, I hope, one day, fingers crossed.
Just returning to the issue of the guilty verdicts against Ghislaine Maxwell.
Sure.
As a lawyer, where do you expect the sentencing to fall on the spectrum of prison terms that are available to the judge?
Well, I think she'll get a substantial prison term because she was convicted on 5 counts, and the guidelines provide for fairly high sentencing. So it will certainly be in the double figures. It won't be.
Bro, every part of the Jeffrey Epstein and subsequent trials that are involved breaks my brain further. I feel like I'm losing my fucking mind. Like, there is never, I can't think of another situation where it's so transparent and so obvious that there was international sex trafficking going on with like incredibly high level people, including royals, Bill Clinton, all these fucking people. And the dudes that participated in it allegedly and also simultaneously defended him and continued that relationship with a known international sex trafficking criminal are now like talking freely in the media. Like, it is such a transparently corrupt example. And I don't understand. It feels like a flex. You know what I mean? It's like, we can get away with it and we will get away with it. Like, it almost feels like this is like a victory lap. You know what I mean?
be 5 years or 6 years or 7 years. It more likely will be in the teens. She will get credit, of course, for the time she's already served. I don't think she's going to get 30 or 40 years. That would be utterly inconsistent with what prior sentences have been in comparable cases. But I think she probably can expect a significant sentence. She will also appeal, obviously. She will not get bail pending appeal, but she will appeal. And within, say, 8 months or so, 3 judges will decide whether the trial was fair. The fact that the jury stayed out so long and did distinguish counts, 5 yes, 1 no, will make it a little bit more uphill for her to successfully appeal. But there will be an appeal.
Also, if you're a victim of Alan Dershowitz, why the fuck would you ever come out against him now? Like, he can do a fucking full court press in the BBC, and they'll go to him. They won't even, when they go to him, they won't even mention that he is like literally being, he is like, you know, directly involved in the case in numerous different ways, not just one. And then they'll just apologize the next day and release a statement. Last night's interview with Alan Dershowitz and Ghislaine Maxwell, after the Ghislaine Maxwell verdict, did not meet the BBC's editorial standards, as Mr. Dershowitz was not a suitable person to interview as an impartial analyst, and we did not make the relevant background clear to our audience. You know who made the background clear to their audience? Alan Dershowitz, when he kept routinely and in the most like nonchalant way possible, mentioned that he was also being accused of rape alongside Jeffrey Epstein as a friend of Jeffrey Epstein. Sorry, we will look into how this happened. Oh, how did it happen? Very, very crazy. What a crazy thing. How could this have happened? Oh, no. Oopsie. We've had someone who is, of course, we thought, who we build as a master at noncery. Who else to talk about nonces than one who is personally involved in the noncery case? Of course, this is the reason why we had to have the king, if you will. You know, how peculiar. Just used to you getting away with it. Hide it. Why hide it? It's fucked. Yeah, it is fucked. You know, I mean, homie is a pedo expert, dude. You know, he's just literally an expert in pedophilia.
I can tell you she is still a prostitute. She is selling false stories now for money about me.
Do you have any concern calling her a prostitute when she was victimized at such a young age by this wealthy man?
She was not victimized. She made her own decisions in life.
But at the age of 15, some would say that's a little young and that she was taken advantage of.
I'm talking about the age of 19. Look, that's between her and the federal government and the people that she claims victimized her.
Yeah, she was making her own decisions, bro. Come on. By the way, only on this planet, in this country, just in this world that we live in, can someone like this, who is a tenured Harvard professor, can I just repeat that one more time? This motherfucker is a Harvard professor, bro. Can literally just be like openly in the news regularly after saying this. So tell me how fucking rape culture isn't real, or tell me how like we don't live in a fucking patriarchal society. Tell me how everything that even rad lips fucking screech about is like not just a teeny tiny bit true at the very least. You can be the most conservative motherfucker, okay? You can be the most conservative motherfucker on the planet, but when you see this, doesn't this like break your brain a little bit? A girl who was forced into sex trafficking by a prolific international sex criminal, okay, a sex trafficker, at the age of 15, ripped away from her high school, was asking for it, according to Alan Dershowitz, who's on the news all the fucking time. He's not in jail, okay? On the news all the time, saying, she was asking for it. Fuck it. Also, this is after he defended Jeffrey Epstein and continued his relationship. To be fair, he was just doing his job. He's a lawyer. And okay, you finally got me, dude. Okay, there you go. Get the fuck out of here. He's not, to be fair, doing his job, dumbass. His job doesn't involve also participating in the actions. Okay?
Dershowitz is a longtime friend of Epstein's who represented him in the criminal underage sex case.
Tell me he was just doing his job when he continued being a friend.
I never saw a young underage woman.
Yet Epstein's former butler swore under oath that Dershowitz was at Epstein's residences at the same time underage girls were there.
Were there young women in another part of the house giving massages when I wasn't around? I have no idea of that.
Dershowitz did say he once received a massage at Epstein's mansion, but from an adult woman.
I kept my underwear on during the massage. I don't like massages particularly.
Bob Norman.
Dude, just doing his job, homie. Just doing his fucking job, bro. That's the guy who you're defending? Shut the fuck up, idiot. Yeah, he's just a hands-on kind of guy.
Local 10 News.
Roberts' attorneys claim that
Crazy.
Dershowitz has ducked a deposition, but Dershowitz told Bob he's willing to submit to one, but only after Roberts goes first.
Bananas. Bananas. We're trending again? Yeah. I know. So that was the BBC having Alan Dershowitz on. Does anyone have Alan Dershowitz on Fox News? Because he was doing a victory lap everywhere. He didn't just, he went across the pond and he came back to the pond, okay? To the other side of the pond. The right side. The American side, baby. Does anyone have that? Wait, oh, this is older. Alan, this is from July 2020. Alan Dershowitz defends himself against sex abuse allegations, condemns accuser as a serial liar. That was way more bold and way more aggro. But I think yesterday he was on Fox News again. I don't know if anyone found it or not. Oh, there it is. Thank you. Alan Dershowitz hijacked the Fox News appearance to remind the world. Oh, this is an older one. This is no, not this one, not this one. No, you're. Hold on. I wasn't he on Fox News last night? Let me see if I can find it. Hold up. What the fuck? Why are all the videos from 2018? Thank you, Griffin.
Fox News legal analyst Greg Jarrett, along with Harvard law professor Alan Dershowitz. Full disclosure, Professor Dershowitz once represented Epstein and is currently being sued by Epstein accuser Virginia Giuffre for defamation.
Dude, Fox News had better journalistic integrity than the BBC. I'm dying. Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh, I'm so glad we saw this. Fox News had better journalistic integrity than the motherfucking BBC. Oh, get that, oi bruvs. Oh, take that shit, oi bruvs. Let me tell you something. It's still fucked that they had him on. Still fucked that they had him on. Unacceptable, okay? But my lord, that is fucking awesome, dude. That makes me so happy to see. Oh, the rare American. Well, it's not a rare one, you know. Get fucked, okay? Get absolutely shitted on. When Fox News is doing a better job, holy shit, would it take that, England, okay? You blew it like you blew the 13 colony lead, baby. Oh, my lord.
Professor, as you know, you've denied all wrongdoing in multiple previous appearances on this program and is countersuing Giuffre. Professor, let me start with you as someone who has been caught up in this. When you look at this verdict, what's your main takeaway?
Well, my main takeaway is that the government was smart enough not to use Virginia Giuffre as a witness. This is the woman who's...
Why is that your main takeaway? Why is your main takeaway about Virginia Giuffre? Like, I don't understand how you are. That's your main takeaway from this. Well, the real reason why that's his main takeaway from this is because it impacts him. Okay, that's the real reason why that's his takeaway. And this is precisely why it's like really psychotic to have him on, even if you give a disclaimer. So don't get me wrong, Fox News is still bullshit. Okay.
Who's accused me, who's accused Prince Andrew, who's accused Senator Mitchell, who's accused Senator Ambassador Richardson, who's accused...
Let's go. Pile it up, baby. Woo!
Ehud Barak. She accused anybody who she could find in Jeffrey Epstein's Rolodex, and the government very smartly didn't use her as a witness. She would have been the key witness if she were credible, but the government simply didn't believe her. So today was a good day for those people who were accused by her, like Prince Andrew and the others who I mentioned. As far as Ghislaine Maxwell is concerned, the government put on witnesses. The witnesses were believed. The jury did come to its conclusion. There will be an appeal. Appeals are always uphill, but there are some issues. There's a statute of limitations issue. After all, some of these things occurred almost 30 years ago. It was back in 1994. So there'll be concerns about the statute of limitations, some other issues. But right now, she faces a significant prison sentence.
Okay. By the way, I just got to interrupt this broadcast for another fire take that I've been seeing on the timeline. Radfems, shut the fuck up challenge, impossible difficulty, okay? I personally love seeing Radfems, Radlibs, people like Amy Siskin, who has fucking banned me or blocked me, always give takes like this. It's one of the funniest it's one of the funniest circumstances, okay? 44,000 likes. Don't get me wrong. Let Maxwell rot in jail and throw away the key. But how about the misogyny in our country and legal system that only a woman has been held accountable? While the men who sexually abuse and enable the abuse of children have suffered no consequences. Bro. Here is one of those instances where it's like, maybe you shouldn't girl boss right now. Okay? Maybe you shouldn't girl boss in this moment. Because, like, as a girl boss, you're right. Okay? That, like, well, not in this case, but, like, you're right that, you know, we do have a lot of misogyny. Okay? But in this circumstance, you're just insane to bring it up. And especially in such terms like, oh, all the men got away with it. It's like, first of all, women got away with it too. Hillary Clinton. And secondly, 44,000 likes, dude. Oh, Drill made a Durst joke. Hello, Alan. This is your lawyer speaking. I am advising you today to please keep posting this shit. I hope Epstein made videos. There have been suggestions that Epstein made secret videos of all the men who had sex in his house and planes. I hope he did, and they are all revealed because they will prove I am not among them. I hereby waive any right of privacy in Epstein videos. You know, sometimes you're girl bossing a little too close to the sun, okay? And this is one of those fucking instances where you girl bossed a little bit too much. Okay? No, this is a bad take from you, seriously? People using this as an opportunity, okay? I'm sorry, but people using this as an opportunity to make a fucking rad fem ass take, straight up do not give a fuck about feminism and only care about talking points. The entire purpose of Ghislaine Maxwell getting her comeuppance is so that the victims, the overwhelming majority of which were women, young girls, okay? Remember, the victims, they exist in this fucking universe. They got a little bit of justice, okay? That's the point. The only feminism take there is like, I'm glad Ghislaine Maxwell is in fucking jail, period, okay? That's it. You don't have to fucking on the tail end be like, oh, but the men are actually getting away with it. It's like, no, there's plenty of people getting away with it, okay? Men, women, elites in general. It's fucking insane to use this situation to make a point about the disparity when it's a woman being when a woman is being held accountable for her fucking actions. It's a psychotic take. It's not feminist either, by the way. You deadass just talked about issues on rape culture and patriarchy. Ears don't work sometimes, and that's totally okay. No, it's not okay. Like, how the fuck do you use an opportunity where a prolific sex trafficker and abuser is caught to make a fucking point about, like, to make a point that even gives her a crumb of legitimacy, okay? Bananas. Absolutely bananas. Enough people are pointing it out without, like, seeming annoyed she got caught. I see, is just doing it for the likes. Yeah, no, for sure. It's misogyny that a woman helped groom and assist in the sex trafficking of children? Wait, what? You can't be serious about this take, right? I mean, okay. That's, it just like broke my brain a little bit. I hope it was a joke. Cool to bring up my other point, but then not give context of what I'm saying. Thanks, dude. Wait, what? What did you say? I didn't even see it. Is it that insane? Literally no men. Did Hillary get away with anything compared to her male counterparts? I see a lot of ire for Hillary. Okay, now you just sound insane. I hope you understand that, right? Like, because yes, Hillary Clinton and Bill Clinton both get a lot of fucking ire, unfortunately, from psychos, okay? But saying that in this community is kind of weird. I've literally spent the past hour shitting on Alan Dershowitz, a male person that's involved in the situation. If you are seeing this exclusively on the boundaries of women versus men, without exclusively talking about, when you're talking about the women, the victims in this circumstance, I don't know what to fucking tell you. This is completely psychotic. Also, Hillary Clinton sucks. Nah, this is a bad take from you. Not Radfem at all. I just don't see why you even bring it up anyway. Yeah, I remember the victims who were mostly raped by men who haven't been held accountable. I know. I agree. Yeah, I don't know if you can see the sexism between Maxwell, Trump, and Hillary. I don't know. Like I said, I just don't even see a reason why you'd bring it up. Like, why can you not see the sexism in people like Trump getting away? Okay. Here's what you're doing. Okay, are you ready for this? What you're doing is the classic, I'm centering this conversation about myself method, okay? Where you center the conversation around yourself, and then 40,000 other people that are also in this chat have to deal with the brain disease that you have personally, where you cannot comprehend the words that are coming out of my mouth. It's like when I say, what was that tweet? There's like one of those that comes out every week. Is like when I say, I prefer waffles to pancakes, okay? And then you come in and say, I cannot believe you did not bring poached eggs in this conversation. This is extremely exclusive to the poached egg community. I'm actually technically also, I can't eat gluten. So you're literally bringing up this is unacceptable and irresponsible. Why have you not talked about the numerous other kinds of like gluten-free options that are readily available? I also can't really eat an egg either. I was just lying. This is violence. This is misogyny. I'm a victim to what you are saying. Okay. I didn't say any of those things. As a matter of fact, what is ridiculous here that you are trying to center this conversation around yourself while also making this a narrative that maybe suits your argument a little bit better, i.e. a straw man. What you're doing here is so ridiculous because it's straight up coming on the heels of me talking about misogyny, patriarchy, the violence that men get away with on a regular basis, and then bringing up 3 individuals that I fucking despise. Okay? You are a dumbass. Please re-examine your priorities. Thank you to the abuse from your chat. Okay, well, you know, chatters, don't fucking at this person and then abuse them, okay? It's really fucking annoying when everybody ats the person that I pull up. But also, you're kind of a dumbass. I hope you understand that. I hope you're getting the abuse from me and not the chatters for subjecting me to, you know, this idiotic take that makes it seem as though, like, I don't believe that there's sexism. You know, I consider that to be really distasteful, especially because you straight up fucking, like, now we're having a conversation about you. You got it. You got your goal, okay? You're goal oriented. You're a girl boss. Thank you. You're publicly commenting. You are literally the bro left. Come to Manchester, UK, and I'll meet you a bunch. How the fuck do I subscribe with Prime? You are the bro left. As a royal person, the UK law doesn't apply. Legally extradited. Oh, God. Their take is that just the tweet is correct, but just not the right time to bring it up. I guess that's fair. Well, it's like veganism. Okay? Correct, but the execution is fucking psychotic when it's done by PETA. Okay? When vegans talk about, like, animals being fucking ripped apart or cows being raped is correct. When they make that comparison to the fucking Holocaust, you know, then what are you doing? Do you understand? Not to bring this back to vegans as I always do. Now that I got Gardein chicken coming over, you know, I'm one of you guys, but it's just insane. Cows being raped? How do you think milk is produced, brother? Like, that's how you make dairy. Anyway, so cows aren't raped. What the fuck? Don't support that argument. What do you think? Cows are just like running around having consensual sex, and then getting impregnated for funsies, and then they end up producing milk? Do you live on a fucking farm in a child's coloring book or something? How do you think cows are pregnant all the fucking time? I mean, obviously there's no consensual sex or whatever the fuck in the animal kingdom. I'm not going to get into this argument. I just don't care. Okay? But, like, the way you think that, like, you know, happy cows in a fucking happy farm are just running around and, you know, having sex with their male peers and you know, living a fun-loving life, and that's how you get milk is laughable. That's not how it works. Okay. Let's get back to this. You brought up veganism and self-unlocked. I know. That's why I don't even need the 4% vegans to fucking chime in ever.
That state prosecutors in any of the places where these heinous activities took place, whether Florida or New York or the Virgin Islands or wherever, can now work with federal prosecutors and, I don't know, get Ghislaine Maxwell a better cell or time off for good behavior, et cetera, if she flips, if she participates and starts naming names?
So, Jake, I'll say something that's not unique, right? Where there's a will, there's a way. And so I'm not ready yet to pivot from the federal prosecutions. We know that Mr. Epstein, right, had pilots that worked for him. We know that there were a number of people who traveled extensively with him. And so before we concede that there is no federal viable prosecution, those matters would have to be investigated. Who was on the plane? When were they on the plane? Who else was with them on the plane? What was their intention and purpose? Where were they going? Who were they with? And so all that's going to have to be looked at, to Jennifer Rogers' very good point with respect to how you get federal jurisdiction. Pivoting then from that issue to particular states, yes. This is a dual type of, we have a dual system. You can be held accountable for federal crimes and state crimes. So the nature of the specific conduct would have to be identified. The particular state with which it occurred would have to be identified. When it occurred would have to be identified. And other things of evidentiary value would have to be identified to look at the statute of limitations. But I'm not ready to say that there's nothing to see here from the federal level. I think, consistent with what I told you previously, this case was about Ms. Maxwell. Let's get our prosecution as to her, and if there are other parties to be held accountable, we will deal with them later. I would not be surprised if later is now, and whether they go now and see whether there's anything they could do federally to hold them responsible, and at the states where they can hold them responsible as well.
Jennifer, do you agree with that?
I do. I mean, I think if there is...
Honestly, Ghislaine Maxwell is not avoiding a prison sentence no matter what. It's just not happening. But you can avoid the top of the hour ad break. Okay? Which is coming right now. Upon us, but you can avoid it at the top of the hour every hour by, subscribing for $5 or for free or getting a gifted sub. These are different ways of being able to avoid the top of the hour ad break. That was a goated one. Shut the fuck up. Okay? Don't care. Don't care. You're mad. I feel like if she ever cooperated with the state, she would get Jeffrey Epstein. Okay? I feel like the fact that she hasn't been Jeffrey Epstein thus far, I suspect, is because of the fact that she's not cooperating, or they know that she's not cooperating, or maybe she doesn't have enough information, really. The MF Goof, but that's insane. That's actually not possible. The MF Goof, thank you for the 10 gifted subs. Here's the 1 minute ad break now.
There's a further case to be made, they will make it. Although I also think that had Ghislaine Maxwell, instead of going to trial, decided to flip and provide testimony and evidence, that would make it a lot easier.
Yeah, had that happened, though, she would not be going to trial or providing any evidence, okay? Had that happened, and this is how the mafia works, we would not be having this conversation, okay? She would just never be found, okay? She would literally be under pavement somewhere.
But why, I mean, one would assume that
Thank you,
was
Baku
one of the
Taku,
reasons
for the
why
5
they were
gifted
going
subs.
after her, or maybe not. I don't know. I mean, I think my view of all of this has been really clouded by that non-prosecution agreement that the then U.S. attorney for Florida.
What is this?
I made it really awkward for them. It was kind of weird because at first I went to his house and I was like, "Yo, man, we're going to the movies," and they were both dressed up and they were in the house and they were like ready to go.
What is he talking about?
Like, yeah, man, we're going. I'm like, so we will bring boys. Is you driving? How we going there?
I know what he's
like,
talking about.
and
That's not even true. He's such a liar, dude. He's such a Weasley little liar. He literally was like, "Oh, you're bringing a friend? Okay, I'll come on my own." This was when we went to the movies and I brought Sky Blue with me. Okay? Excusey no longer my boo-boo, okay? No longer my fucking boo-boo, dude. I love saying that.
Yeah, I'll meet you there, dude. I'm like, yo, what do you mean? Oh, I get it. Fuck, okay, yeah, I'll meet you there. And then I ordered Uber for myself, and I went by myself, and yeah, that's kind of how it was. It was kind of weird.
No, he was a homie on it. He straight up, I thought maybe I misread the situation, but he was being a great wingman. What the fuck? He straight up was just like, he straight up was like, yeah, I'll get there on my own.
It was kind of weird.
It was weird.
And then after the after the movie, we went back to Hasan's house, and I was still there because he told me to stay, remember, at his house. And then they were just kind of like hanging out, and I was like, they're eating Dave's chicken. And I was like,
okay, this part's not true.
I made it really.
He wasn't like making it awkward at all. I don't know why he's saying that. It was not like that at all. I like that there are subtitles. You need some subtitles to fucking translate Pepegan. Give him a kiss next time you see him. Yeah, I'll give him a kiss, dude. You didn't offer him chicken? Bro, when Felix was staying with me, the house already... I can't offer this man chicken. You want to know why? Because he bought out the chicken supply, dude, okay? There was like literally delivery 4 times a fucking day coming into the house with just piles. I mean, fucking piles of Dave's Hot Chicken. And he just like would eat some of it, not eat all of it. I mean, it was great because I ate all of it, right? He would just like leave chicken around and I would just eat it. Like it was awesome. But yeah, he just like bought Dave's Hot Chicken like 4 times a day. And every time he bought it, he would get like just, 5 fucking containers of Dave's Hot Chicken. Bro, you're like a Roomba for leftovers? Yeah, that's why the Leftovers podcast is apt. He did that for you, though? Yeah, I know, man. I know. He bought it for everybody. Like, he was doing it for everyone else in the house. That's why I'm like... Anyway, wait, did I actually end up running the ad or did I fucking forget? All right, we're going to get back to Ghislaine Maxwell right now, but hold up. Did I do one of those things where I just like forgot to run it? Let's see. No, I ran it. We're good. No, I ran it. All right, let's keep going.
Florida, or for a part of Florida, who was ended up being the Secretary of Labor, Alexander Acosta. Remember, he was the former Trump cabinet official who, after Epstein was arrested in 2019, was criticized for his role in that non-prosecution deal. And I think my view of this is clouded by how much does the government...
The motherfucker who gave Jeffrey Epstein a sweetheart deal, okay, after he was caught dead to rights, sex trafficking minors, okay, and having sex with them, became the labor secretary under the Trump administration. So just remember that, like, this is all connected, okay? You can say it's fucking conspiracy theories all you want, but it's the literal truth. And it is not how the law is supposed to work at all, okay?
Government, prosecutors, etc., how much do they protect powerful people? They obviously went after Jeffrey Epstein and Ghislaine Maxwell here, but am I being too skeptical, too cynical, Jennifer, about the willingness of prosecutors to go after powerful men who participated in these misdeeds?
I think so, although I'll also say maybe I'm being too easy on prosecutors. I think that they go where the evidence leads. I don't think anyone at SDNY or the current DOJ is afraid of going after anyone in the world. So I think if the evidence leads there, they would go. There are just a lot of obstacles and no one who knows what happened talking, at least as far as we know. And a lot of time has gone by. So these possible state charges are likely gone because of statute.
Yeah. Like, immediately after Jake Tapper talks about a situation in which, like, the evidence was not followed, and therefore the man who didn't follow the evidence straight up got elevated through the ranks and became labor secretary. This lady's like, yeah, we would just like follow the evidence, but like, no one is just talking about it. It's just crazy. Yeah, okay, dude. Here's what you do, okay? when no one is fucking talking about it, here's what you do. You investigate. What is the fucking purpose of these authorities? Like, oh man, these criminals that are involved in this crime are not openly stating the crimes that they did. It's like, okay, what's your job then? Like, your job is to literally fucking figure out. Also, love this photo where we just have Ghislaine on here. CNN. Who else is on this photo famously? Can CNN maybe show just right here? Like, who's right there? Who could that be? Prince Andrew, maybe? It's just I don't know. Prince Andrew and Virginia Giuffre, maybe? His accuser?
Statute of limitations issues. So I think there are a lot of obstacles. I don't think they're afraid to do it. I think if they can, they will. But we'll see what happens.
Anyway. Also, the BBC, the very same BBC that, you know, the very same BBC that had the Dersh on, also wrote this wonderful headline. Who is Ghislaine Maxwell? The story of her downfall. Who is Ghislaine Maxwell? The downfall of a favorite daughter. It should say, who is Ghislaine Maxwell? Prolific sex trafficker, dog. What the fuck are we doing? Like, it's over. Like, the case happened. You can't literally fucking, after the case, still do the whole like, she's falling out of grace. Yeah, falling out of grace and into federal prison for sex trafficking. But she was the toast of high society in London and New York. Now Ghislaine Maxwell has been convicted of grooming and trafficking underage girls. High society. Tut tut. How unbecoming. They can't be too hard on her because it makes Prince Andrew look bad by proxy. I don't give a fuck. They should make Prince Andrews look bad by proxy. You can't make the royal family look worse than they already are. They're fucking monsters, dude.
Welcome back to CBS Mornings. We have more now on the conviction of Ghislaine Maxwell and what it could mean for authorities trying to unravel Jeffrey Epstein's sexual trafficking ring. In 2018, Miami Herald investigative reporter Julie K. Brown uncovered new information on Epstein and Maxwell's relationship and activities. She's the author of Perversion of Justice, the Jeffrey Epstein story. Julie K. Brown joins us now. Julie, good to see you again. Good morning.
Good morning.
This person, and I don't usually say this, but like almost single-handedly is responsible for like the lion's share of the Jeffrey Epstein stuff coming back into the fold for all of her work in Miami, in the newspaper, in the local paper there. Like, straight up.
So, Julie, your reporting on Jeffrey Epstein led to a larger investigation and eventually brought us to yesterday's guilty verdict. You were in the courtroom. What were you thinking as you heard the jury's verdicts?
I think first of all, we were a little surprised because earlier in the day, the jury had indicated that they still were deliberating in earnest. And in fact, they brought up the topic of maybe deliberating through the holiday weekend. They had also asked for some more testimony. So it was sort of sudden. We did not expect that it was going to happen yesterday.
And what was it like in the courtroom? I mean, how did Ghislaine Maxwell react? What was the audience reaction? I know it was probably full of reporters.
It was full of reporters. It was filled with U.S. Marshals who lined the walls behind us. It was kind of ominous of what was to happen The jury filed in. They appeared very tired. They had been deliberating 40 hours in total over 6 days. Maxwell really didn't show any reaction. She was shaken as the verdict was read. You could tell because she almost kind of fell over. She wobbled a little bit. And then when, the guilty verdicts were read, she just looked straight ahead and really didn't show much emotion at all. Finally sat down, took a sip of water, and just slumped in her chair. And, as I said, she just appeared pretty stoic. I think she was surprised.
In so many ways, this trial is about the victims. And Julie, you wrote, for almost 15 years, victims of Jeffrey Epstein and Ghislaine Maxwell had been called prostitutes, had been lied to by prosecutors, had been viciously attacked by defense lawyers, and were traumatized over and over by a system of justice that catered to the wealthy and politically connected couple who had assaulted them as teenagers. Very powerful statement there. Have you been able to talk to any of the survivors?
Well, I spoke with a woman who had been attending the trial almost every day. This woman has been taking a Greyhound bus every morning from Philadelphia, 2 hours in the morning, walking in the cold, waiting in line to get in. It was extraordinary. And she sat and watched this almost every day. And she felt that it gave her a sense of closure, that she could finally look Maxwell in the eye and feel like you're going to, you're not going to control my life anymore. I'm going to get past.
Julie, speaking of those survivors, one of the alleged survivors, Virginia Giuffre, she tweeted out, Maxwell did not act alone. Others must be held accountable. Where do things go from here?
Well, she's absolutely right. And she's not alone in that feeling. Epstein did not do this alone. There were many people that helped him. He had a whole ecosystem of people around him. The issue here is this case was a challenge because these events happened 15, 20 years ago. And, memories fade. The defense, I think, did a good job at poking holes in some of the testimony because, there were dates that weren't accurate because you don't remember everything exactly the same way when it happened so long ago. So this will pose a challenge in any future prosecutions.
Julie K. Brown, thank you for being here and thank you for your reporting.
It's so good. So fucking good, dude. It's me.